And I got to think that, when we talk about the issues on an issue-by-issue basis, as you lay out in Adios America, the American people agree with this position. It is always a winning position.
Yes, always, including for the Democrats. It was Bernie Sanders' position 4 years ago. It was most Democrats' position. Harry Reid. I mean, you do have all these liberal reporters and Democrats warning their candidates, ease up on the immigration stuff. It's just, they have, as I say in my last book, they have lost their minds. So whatever position Trump takes, it could be, to get 8 hours of sleep a night and don't drink too much. No, you should become an alcoholic and stay up all night. That's the modern Democratic Party, which I am apparently completely out of touch with. I watched the first Democratic debate, not intentionally, just friends of mine, with a group of Democrats, normal human beings, but Democrats, and some of them, quite famous and high up in the party, and we all pretty much agreed that the two best were Delaney and Bullock. They polled at about 0.3%.
Yeah.
Bullock, that's the Oregon guy, and none of them are my cup of tea. But in terms of who made a sensible, rational point, those two clearly won. They're basically gone now. Last night, I thought clearly Klobuchar and a little bit Biden. Okay, fine, he does look a little bit old, but he doesn't want to say anything, and that does tend to make even the best of us tongue-tied if you're trying to talk without saying anything, which is what you should do if you're in the lead. Look at the polls and the New York Times op-ed columnists today, and it's all Warren. These people would nominate AOC if they could.
Yeah. And I got to ask because, listen, Republicans have fallen into this trap over the years, too, where we elect the person who we think best, is going to win or is the most electable, I guess, is the word that they always use. And electable is not the same as being the person who can defeat the opponent. Right? Electable is this amorphous thing. But they need to be focusing on who can beat Donald Trump right now. And I don't think that's Elizabeth Warren.
No, I tend not to think so either, though I'm not as bullish on Trump's reelection as many are. I'd give it slightly better than odds, but I can see an opening.
Yeah.
For a Democrat here. I was going to say it's not just this time and how crazy they are, but what you just said, I totally agree. It's much more extreme this time. As a general rule, though, Republicans' best candidate is going to be the most conservative candidate.
Right.
The country, and
we're always
overwhelmed with social justice warriors, feminists, and immigrants,
right.
Which seems to be the total base of the Democratic Party. They really are just saying to the average white male out there, nope, this party is not for you. One thing, try to imagine the Democrats running a ticket with two white men.
Right.
Absolutely no possible way that could happen.
Yep.
And I think they're being fooled by Obama. He's a once-in-a-lifetime candidate. He was extremely, I didn't like his policies. It took away my health care. But he was very appealing. He could tell a joke. He seemed normal. He had a sense of humor. He could sing, looked elegant in a suit. Not these misfits.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, none of those things. Yeah.
Oh, no. She had been my bet for a long time based on the description of the Democratic Party I just gave you, just total pedal to the metal on identity politics. But more than usual, she came across as really flip and not caring and or flippant and nasty. People were, and I think this is often a cheap shot, but in this case, it was kind of accurate. I'm not saying she was drunk, but she kind of came across that way, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. There was that one last giggly thing that she did about oh God, I don't even remember what it was, but give hope a chance or something like that, or say, oh, try yes we can instead of no we can, and then the giggling was just, well, okay, what is she on?
Yeah, she liked her jokes a lot more than anybody else did.
Yeah,
referring in some derisive way to Trump as, that dude, you're running for president. Yeah. Obama would not have talked that way. Klobuchar, I thought, and Biden did the best. But like I say, you look at the polls from the base, I mean, I don't know who they're polling. It may be that the Democrats do have enough millennials, feminists, academics, immigrants, social justice warriors that they don't need to care about getting the votes of any white man except the ones that, barely qualify and they're henpecked by their feminist wives.
Talking to Ed Coulter, columnist and New York Times bestselling author. Real fast on this. I'm sorry. I love it when you just throw that in at the end there. Your headline is provocative as always. Mass incarceration saved Black America. But this is this big push now. The Democrats are trying to, decry the mass incarceration of the 90s that we keep hearing about. But you, as usual, have done some research on the topic.
Yes, I've been warning about this forever. As soon as Democrats got control, as soon as the rest said, okay, finally, a government policy that works. It's made life possible in America again. Republican policies from Reagan and Bush judges to the magnificent Mayor Giuliani of New York have just, it's the only time I can remember government ever doing what it's supposed to do, and B, making our lives enormously better by making our streets safe.
Thank you.
Making life possible again. I've been warning forever. As soon as we're not paying attention, everybody else, okay, everything's, I'm going to bed now. They would run to the thermostat and change it on us. Wait, didn't we all agree?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what they're doing on crime right now. This mass incarceration, that phrase of theirs, as if there are thousands of innocent little lambs being in prison. No, they can never seem to produce one. I keep looking up the cases they present to us as the innocent little lamb in prison. And without too much research, you find out that, oh my gosh, I want this guy behind bars. So what are they saying with this mass incarceration obsession of theirs? That we shouldn't lock up people who have committed crimes? I mean, most of the people in state prisons are there for violent crime, not drug crimes to begin with. To the extent any sort of drug crime is even listed as the crime on record, well, you have to keep in mind that 90%, more than 90%, I believe, of both state and federal prisons are there because of a plea bargain. So, you could murder somebody, but none of the witnesses will testify, and the cops say, okay, but we caught you with all this pot on you.
Right, so we'll plead this
to
down.
that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
for one thing, we want to know what the real crime was. Most people in prison, it's by the time they get there, it's like their third or fourth felony. It would be a total disaster. It's Jared Kushner's idiotic criminal bill on steroids.
I knew there'd be a Kushner or Ivanka hit in here. It's been like 3 weeks until you throw one out there. And I got to leave it there. I hope you have a great weekend, though.
Thank you.
We're
You too,
all out
Larry.
of time. It's always good to talk to